In the upper left, the only Protoss player we have today, he is...
New challenger, LGIM first.
And his opponent down here in the bottom right, can he come back? He is...
Master, SK Telecom T1 Fantasy.
What's up, Artosis?
Well, I'm thinking about all the possible things that we could see here, and here's what it truly is, Tasteless. I'm being very selfish, and I'm wanting Fantasy to open up with like a quick eBay, 1-1, double tech labs, stim combat shields, just the very standard opening, because I want to see first play against a very standard TVP, so I have stuff to copy directly.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm like, okay, give me this most safe, orthodox.
Yeah. How
do you beat one of the best canons of all time?
Exactly.
No risks involved.
Because that last game, while it was very entertaining and super high skill, like the opening Fantasy did isn't quite as common as some other openings. And in fact, it was pretty good against first opening, in my opinion. And first still dealt with it so well. So I want a standard game out of Fantasy and just see how first crushes it.
Well, I just love the way first plays. His builds are so good. So good, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of times nothing really that fancy about them, which is nice because, you know, this is something I can use on the ladder, just like you were saying.
Yeah. You know, I think that this game, it's going to be a Reaper opening, just probably a Reaper expand, and that's about as standard as you're likely to get. So I think my wishes are going to come true, Tasteless.
Do you believe in miracles, Artosis?
I believe in incredible miracles.
Last night,
such as LGIM first.
Last night, Artosis saw a shooting star, and he says, made his wishes. I just hope Fantasy plays in the standard game again.
I saw a star tail last night.
You're so funny.
Oh, man. Did that Zealot just walk by the eBay?
Yep, it totally did.
Oh, he's making a second Zealot. Ooh, what is this build?
Well, I've seen some people push with the Mothership Core right away.
Yeah, no, that's a very strong opener, but with double Zealot Mothership Core, I guess it makes sense.
It works better if they go Command Center after Barracks, but not if they're going Reaper. If they're just going Marine, you can just go in there and punish them.
Yeah.
But that's weird. He actually did miss the eBay.
The thing is, he went Reaper into Reactor, so he's actually going to have the least number of units possible. And in fact, first took that path around, which is going to make it a little bit harder to find. So one Marine against one Zealot. That one Zealot does win, generally. So far, the Marine is winning, though, for sure.
All right, here comes the Reaper now. The Reaper can kite this so easily.
Wow, that's what we call good micro.
Good micro much, folks?
Wow,
this did absolutely nothing.
Damage to Reactor only.
That Zealot's life is a lie.
Yeah, well, you know what? The one thing it actually did do was make the Reaper go home. So the Reaper, at this point, may not even get into the main base.
That's very true.
So that's the one nice thing. So, but the thing is, I don't know that First is even going to do anything to take advantage of that, because he's such a good PvTer, there's no reason for him to do something weird like throw up a Stargate right now. Oh, well, there's a Stargate. So,
uh-oh, Artosis.
It's mildly weird. But you know what? It makes sense because he's delayed this Reaper so much.
You really put yourself out on the line there, Artosis.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's going to see this Stargate.
Well, see, I told you there was no reason for him to actually have to do this, and now that it's been seen, he's going to have to cancel it. Are you really going to... He doesn't have to cancel it, but the odds of an Oracle doing damage...
If he doesn't cancel it, it doesn't mean he has to use it either. He can let it finish and be like, nope.
Yeah, I suppose he could do that. Well, it looks like he's not going to cancel. It's far enough along. You know, having an Oracle, even if they know you have it, isn't bad. The Oracle is going to pick up kills here and there if you're careful.
All right, Mothership now moving out here.
And he did see the armory, so he knows what's coming.
Did he actually get this?
Yeah.
Oh!
Okay, that was luck.
So
First you're a hero, but that was a lucky get out of there.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the cool part.
Like, of course I was going to leave with 5 hit points, Artosis. Do I look like an idiot to you? You're like,
I guess not.
I guess not.
No, that happens sometimes,
Sorry, Rain Man. I didn't know you were that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were that precise with your calls.
Okay, so let's talk about this Stargate for a minute. Now, he didn't cancel, so this is going to force defense against Oracles. But with a couple Phoenixes and maybe even a third Phoenix, he's going to be able to hold back Hellbat drops and punish them. Like, the medevac can't get away.
Such a good point.
Yeah. So, once his Mothership Core saw that, and he got scouted, it's like, well, now you're going to have turrets against a non-existent threat, and I have something that makes it so I lose 0. Because he can lift Hellbats, and he can kill the dropship. It's like, it's going to be very solid for him.
Fantasy could be in a lot of trouble with this.
Yes.
Especially if he doesn't take the hint and stop trying to drop. Yeah, we've seen some Terrans just throughout StarCraft 2 get drop hungry, and they're just like, well, just keep drop.
Well, that if you want to talk about someone drop hungry, man, Fantasy, he's multitasking. It's like someone took the idea of multitasking and made a human out of it, and it looked a little bit like John the Translator, and it was called Fantasy.
It's actually funny because he so does look like John the Translator. Uh-oh.
Right,
Phoenix
here we go.
is just a little bit too fast.
Oh, he's got to run those probes! Okay.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Did they even get a shot off?
Yeah, they did. And you got to be careful at that, because here's the funny thing. The probe is the only worker that once it's hit by a Hellbat one time, it will only take one more hit to kill it no matter what. Because they just...
Enough HP has been taken out with that initial blow.
Yeah. All right. So there's another drop coming in. The Phoenixes are looking for this, and he knew it was coming. He was so close to predicting exactly when it would come. Slightly off, and now his Phoenix is way out of position. But he does have the Mothership Core there, so if he's super quick, he can deal with this.
All right, so yeah, the Phoenixes have somehow missed that medevac, which is going to be a little tricky here. And now he's going to see the Phoenixes over here inside the domain and probably go insta-drop, and that's what he's going to do.
Oh, very quick. And it looks like he'll get...
Wow, he did a great job keeping these...
We got the sentries and a few probes. He actually got...
So nice. They're so good.
I think Fantasy actually could have gotten a lot more there.
Did you get the medevac back there?
Yeah, you got the medevac. You know... Fantasy could have done a bit better there, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it looked like he missed-targeted a bit trying to get the sentry. Anyways, we do have now these Phoenixes can do some damage. Unlike the Oracle, these guys actually have a bit of range on them. So, you know what? First, everything he's doing, man, is so good. What a great player. God.
All right, the Twilight Council's on the way now. Yeah, first is making Fantasy look like he doesn't know how to play the game, almost. Which is weird to even say about Fantasy, but it's true.
And you know what else? I think this is going to be a single Colossus build.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. It can actually be a Colossus build with a Twilight for... Okay, it is a Colossus build.
Yep.
Okay, so he's just getting the Twilight to help out with upgrades, of course. But yeah, when you go Phoenixes, normally it will be a Colossus build, but by the timing of the Twilight before the Colossus was started, I was wondering if maybe he was being so meta that he realized that he could wait to make the Colossus because his Phoenixes were holding back the Terran player. But anyways.
Terran looks like it's going to go for, Fantasy's going to go for another drop. One on the upper right, one on the upper left. What? Nice zoning out there.
Even just damaging medevacs at this point is so worthwhile.
Phoenix is just such good defense right now. You can probably send that back to the main to defend, too.
Random units being picked up everywhere, too. Like, the value that he's gaining everywhere. Right now, units lost, guys, 1,700 to 550.
How crazy is that?
And it's Fantasy. It's the guy that's supposed to have the bigger number there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, first is God mode right now. He's looking so good.
You got to wonder, how many more Terrans at first ends up facing. How many more can he hack his way through?
Yeah, well, I tell you, I think it's going to take one of the very best. Here's the thing. There's been interviews lately with the top Terrans. Everyone's like, yeah, Fantasy is one of the best in the whole world.
Yeah.
In fact, wasn't it Rain that just said that he doesn't think he can beat Fantasy?
Yeah, that was Rain.
And we were going bonkers over Rain's PvT, but this is even more impressive than that.
This is even more impressive than that. We're being completely frank here, too, guys. Yeah. This is even more impressive. We've been casting StarCraft 2 forever now.
Yeah, since the beginning. And, well, you know what? I can't even believe he turned those around quick enough with everything he's doing right now. But, I mean, it's going to take, like, a flash or an innovation to give First a good game, maybe.
I think you're right. I don't even know if Fantasy can win this game here specifically. Oh, my God, that's so good.
But I don't know either, Jesus. Look at these medevacs. Like, what do you even do? Do you pick up and run so that the Phoenixes can kill you?
No, I know. It's like there's like no easy solution here.
Yeah. Is it Sophie's Choice or something?
Well, it looks like he's regrouped now over here at the bottom left. The starport now going to attach onto that reactor.
Yeah, that's...
Now, if he gets Vikings, they are oh so behind compared to what they actually have out right now.
Yeah, well, you know, if he's going double reactored Vikings, and Blink is about to finish and Templar Archives on the way, First is going to be a little bit behind on that. There is going to be a little window where Fantasy should have an army that counters.
Oh, you saw those medevacs.
Or First.
Oh, man. He is so good with the zoning.
Mm-hmm. Does force him back to drop off his units. And then just comes in and kills those units that are dropped off, perhaps. Nice force field there.
Well, you know, he looked at the situation and said, wait a minute, no matter what, I shouldn't even be over here.
Yeah. Okay, so here's where we're at in this game. Like, First has played just magnificently, but I do believe Fantasy's going to have a little timing where he can move up the map before Storm and do something serious. Because with all the Vikings and medevacs that he's getting out right now, a 3 Colossus army I don't think is going to be enough.
All right, he's dumping out these Zealots over here, and this is going to allow him to attack into the third right now. The Vikings, the Marauders, the Marines coming down. More Zealots being warped in over here. Now look at that. Fantasy's defense was perfect.
Yeah.
But at the same time, First knew not to overextend.
Yeah, and in fact, this is First buying time for himself right now. That's what we're actually seeing. He's trying to get that time, but this is still coming for him. Those Vikings doing a great job against these Colossi.
This is starting to get bad for First now.
Yeah. The thing is, he doesn't have additional splash damage. He hasn't even started his Storm, and he has 800 gas. This is simply a mistake. Like, First is, I tell you, his heart is beating quickly right now, Tasis. He's got a lot of adrenaline in his system, because he really should have started Storm like a long time ago. And in fact, he's having to make Archons.
The Archons are okay in this situation, but you really want Storm.
Yeah, the thing is, you need a lot of splash against what's incoming. And his splash consists of a Colossus and some Archons. I think a second Colossus just
and the Archons can be kited out of position of the Colossi, too, so... Nice targeting there on those Vikings.
Well, he does lose a lot of them, and in fact, more of them coming up from the side. One Colossus does get picked off, just one left. Oh, the Zealots moving in ever so slowly, getting picked off, and Fantasy kiting back beautifully.
He's got a lot of Marauders. Ooh. Nice force fields there to deny any more movement away. A few more Marauders remain here. Stalkers clicking forward, more Vikings out, joining the fray.
But a lot of damage has been done to Fantasy's actual army. Even though he took out all the Colossus, he's lost his medevacs, he's lost a ton of Vikings, and his main army has been decimated as well.
He's continuing to push now, headed southward. Let's see if he tries to push all the way back home. That could be a huge moment if he does manage to get in there. It's 141 supply to 126, so pretty even right now. Probably the biggest difference is workers.
Well, you know what? In the meantime, Tasis, we actually have a harassment going on. Oh, wow.
How many workers did he kill? 22?
Well, so far this game, 22. He killed some of them earlier, though. But yeah, that's... First is playing a good game. No question about that. He's taking a 4th base in a location from which he can stage attacks more easily.
Yeah, and be more aggressive.
Yep. A lot of Archons walking in right now. The first Ghosts are going to be popping out quite shortly. And Fantasy is getting 3-3, but that army is not made to kill this.
Oh, mess up there with the force fields. That's too bad.
Yep. But with this many Archons, I think he's actually just completely fine against this force. As long as he keeps playing exactly how he is.
And look at this. The Zealots now coming in over here. Oh, man. This is going to be the beginning of the end here. All these Ghosts have been warped in over here in the back of his base because he doesn't want them coming into the rest of the army and being picked off. Meanwhile, the command center getting lower. I can't believe he didn't snipe that. He could have actually gotten that.
Side Storm finally does get started 20 minutes into the game.
Wow.
And you know what? He's gaining so many advantages with this harassment, but notice how, guys, he never fully commits on these attacks. And that's because he's harassing so much. Because when you're harassing this much, your main army is not guaranteed to win the fight, even though you're doing a lot of damage. So he's backing up, he's just poking everywhere over and over and over. And over the very long term, that's when he wants to win this game.
It's really smart. bruising those Archons there. We got another drop coming up in here. It looks like he's going to warp in some more Zealots along with that.
Oh, that is a lot of Zealots trying to pick up the warp.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, very nice pickoff by Fantasy. Very important. If you hadn't gotten that and those had warped in, I mean, that would have been just terrible.
Well, and notice he's not remaking the Warp Prism. He's making another Colossus, so...
I bet you he makes the Warp Prism next, though. He's so on top of getting Warp Prisms out. He's making like 4 or 5 a game.
I know. It's incredible. Terran now moving out. This is going to give the Zealots an ample opportunity to counterattack over here.
Some more Zealots walking in, and the Marines are there.
But it goes to show you how weak Marines are without the medevacs present.
Yeah.
You just got to micro the hell out of him.
And you know what? He does have great upgrades as well. He's 1 upgrade behind Terran right now, but not a big deal. That 1 Widow Mine really worth its weight in gold right now.
Oh, yeah.
Now, huge amount of Vikings coming over once again. Throwing out some Storms, trying to pick them off.
Nice job there with the Storms on those Vikings. Now, also note, Protoss 156 to Terran's 147, so Terran might not want to be engaging, but then again, Terran with 40 SCVs to what, 68 probes?
Yeah, so the army counts are actually very similar.
Now,
the army is mostly gas-based right now for first, which is nice, but 6 Archons, 3 Sentries, and a ton of High Templars. If the EMPs go off just right, Fantasy still has its chances here.
Now, there's a high chance this game does turn into the last game that we saw here. Between these two, where Fantasy was playing great but can never get a 4th base, while First managed to take a, a 4th and a 5th.
Well, First is maxing out, and as Protoss maxes, it does become even scarier. They can start bleeding off Zealots just like this to get more supply to put in other units that are more powerful.
Exactly. All right. Oh, nice shot there on that Templar. More Zealots from here, though. This is really bad right now for Fantasy.
He does have a lot of ghosts. Notice he's using those EMPs quite liberally at this point because this is an army that really relies on not being EMP'd, I guess is the way to put it.
Yeah.
Not just on shields, but also on energy.
All right, he's now shredding up these Marines before these Zealots get back to work destroying the rest of this Terran expansion.
And you know, you're right, Taste. This is turning into the last game where Fantasy has a really good army.
Yep.
But he just has no economy. His economy is just terrible.
That's basically what we're seeing here.
Yeah. So First right now, he does have 15 gates, so that's 30 supply he can warp in at almost the speed of light during the next battle. So as long as he takes it defensively, I do see him holding.
Yeah. Oh my God, that Storm was so good.
Yeah, it was.
It got like every ghost.
Yeah. He really bruised those up. You know, that means that the ghosts can't walk quite as far forward because a couple of Colossus volleys actually will end up killing them now.
Insta melt them. Uh-oh.
Oh God, this...
Look at the supplies now. 200 to 134. I think we're about to see the beginning of the end here. And now he's moving forward.
Some good EMPs going off. Those Archons very low, but not enough.
GG. We have a 2-0 victory here. First defeating Fantasy. And what I got to say was a really impressive Protoss versus Terran.
Outclassed is the only way you can describe those games. First, playing like a god in this matchup.
Oh, yeah. Really impressive.
I can see why everyone's been saying that he is the best Protoss in IM right now, and I have no doubt about it in my mind.
That makes perfect sense. Wow.
Fantasy is actually probably thinking, what in the hell is that? Because, guys, let me put this into perspective for you. Guess who the Protosses are that Fantasy practices against? Rain and Parting, the 2 best in the world. He also has a... SKT1 is a Protoss team. It's got a deep, strong Protoss lineup.
Yeah.
You've got the Aprotoss, Bisu best. It's ridiculous. But First just played him like a fiddle and then broke him over his knee.
Really impressive game there. From First, I have not seen Protoss that solid in a while.
No, that was...
It reminded me of Rain, but with a little bit more flair.
That is the perfect way to put it. He had a fantastic defense, great harassment, but his harassment was never-ending with never-ending pokes as well. I actually have goosebumps all over myself right now. That was amazing.
He does have goosebumps. He's got the nerd chills going on right now. No, look, that was an impressive game. That's one I'm going to have to rewatch.
Oh, God,
There's a lot of stuff you could steal from that game. We have one more best of 3 here. It's going to be in Group D right after this, so stay tuned.